Hey gamers, today we're going to review Orbital Conflict. Let's check it out. Setup for the game is extremely easy. You're going to shuffle this deck. You're going to use the whole deck for 4 players and less if it's a 3 or 2 player game. You're going to shuffle this investor deck here. This is called the station deck, by the way. And then you're going to deal out cards, as many cards as there are players in the game, times 2. So if this is a 4-player game, I deal out 8 cards. Now these cards are basically in-game victory points. At the end of your turn, you'll be able to pick one, and any player can have up to 3. They're very easy to understand too, and the rule book will let you know what each one means. Anyway, how the game starts is each player takes 5 cards in their hand, and starting with the player who has the initiative card here, they will go first, then clockwise order. And what you're doing is you're just playing as many of these cards as you want to or as you can. And the emblems on the cards are very easy to understand. So for instance, purple there, that's going to be a victory point at the end of the game. Red means it requires that to be powered up to activate that. Green are power-ups that can power up some of these other cards. Yellow means you can attack other players with this card, and blue are obviously shields. Now, for instance, let's say on my turn, I can play as many of these as I want. If I was to play this one here, that one looks pretty cool, I'd place it right here, but as you see, it requires a spaceman helmet and a lightning. Well, good thing that I have a spaceman helmet right here. Now, I could choose to play this on top of that card like so, but that wouldn't be very good. I'm going to place it on the bottom. When I do, I have to cover up the victory points and the other 2 spaceman helmets, but that's okay because now I have the spaceman helmet required to help power up this card, but yet I also need a lightning, and now I need 2 lightnings because I put this card to it. Well, that's okay because I had this card in my hand. Look at that, 2 green lightnings. So I put it underneath here. Well, now this is ready and set to go, which means on my turn, I can start attacking other players with the power of 1. If I have more yellow, and sometimes these yellow emblems are on the side of the card here, then I can attack them with 2 yellow. And of course, this station has 1 shield. Now, someone could attack me, and if they could beat me and I didn't have the shields to field off their attack, I would have to remove one of these cards in the deck. It wouldn't have to be this one necessarily, but it had to be one of these. And if I did that, let's say I remove this, then that would make this weapon inactive, and I would have to tap it to the side until I got some other power cards later on in my hand that I could replenish it with to restore that little station. Now you can have as many of these stacks as you want. So for instance, if I wanted to place one here, I could, but I don't have anything to power it, so I have to go here. But on every one of your cards, like this one's just a regular card, black gives you options if you discard it. Now, since I played this one, I cannot discard it, but I have a white action which is permanent. And these cards will let you do different, cheats, I guess, in the game, different enhancements, I guess, to your actions, what you can do. But anyway, this is these one-time use cards. You discard it and take the action on there. Or instead, since I need 1 lightning to activate this 1 victory point, you can always flip this over, and as you see, it can also count as a shield or an extra lightning, which I did. So if I did that, I would have powered up this, and that would give me a victory point at the end of the game. Now, after my turn, like I said, you can play all the cards in your hand or just a few of them, however many you want. Some cards are reactionary, meaning if a player attacks you, you can play a card to do something to help them out. And the cards are very straightforward to tell you when these can be played. But after you've played your cards, then you're going to pick one of these in-game bonus points if you want to. Now, what you do is you have an option. You can take the card and keep it and just put it in front of you, or you can take a card and give it to another player, forcing them to get rid of one of their cards. For instance, you can only have 3 cards out on your board there. Now, if I want to take another card, let's say, man, I am not going to accomplish that one, so that's just wasted. I know I have this one. Or maybe I have this one. I have 3 shields or whatever out, or well, this one I would have I don't care. Anyway, let's say I just get one of these, 2 victory points. Okay, so I could place it here, bumping this one out into the discard pile, or vice versa, I could play it here and then bump this one out into the discard pile there. Now, in return, like I said, maybe someone is stacked, man. They got some good in-game victory points. So I give them this. I pick it, but I don't use it myself. I just give it to another player. Well, now that player has to decide, man, do I want to boot this card or this card? And they say, I'll boot that one. Rats. Now instead of 2 victory points, and it would actually go in the discard pile, I'm only getting 1. You're either helping yourself or screwing another opponent. Now, you'll keep playing cards like this until this deck runs out. After that, you're going to count up all the little purple emblems on your in-game point cards, your investor cards, and any ones that you see on the regular cards here. And of course, whoever has the most points wins. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? Well, the box is really little. I mean, look how thin this box is. It's just a deck of cards, right? Now, full disclosure here, they sent me this game to do a review, and so I did, so thank you for that. The card game is okay. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a card game playing guy, so for me, meh. It didn't really catch my fancy, but most card games don't. However, I gave it to my nephews, and they are big into card games, and they were super excited to get to play this. I said, here, you guys play it. You tell me what you like about it or you don't like about it, because they're really big. I mean, they'll play any card game. They love it, and they can get the handle of it too. So after they gave it several plays, and I'll be honest, I didn't play it as many times as they did. We came back, I played it with them, and then I said, okay, what do you guys want? Now, I was going to have them here for final thoughts, but they didn't finish their chores in time, so they couldn't make it. But their final thoughts was, it was okay. It was okay. We all agreed that the theme is just kind of flat. You really don't get the theme. I really didn't understand it, and I really didn't care. I think the theme, you stick a generic space theme on it, it kind of just loses its identity with a billion other space-themed card games out there. So they felt the same thing too. The theme was kind of weak. But they also felt there wasn't that many options. And I can see what they mean. In fact, my little nephew admitted to doing the same strategy over and over again because it usually worked. Okay, he knew what the investor cards were by playing it. That's the thing, there's not that many different types of cards in the decks, so the replayability is probably not there. Now, I didn't play enough to where it got repetitive, but I could see we were seeing a lot of the same cards, and you could see where the combos were coming from. And you were looking for specific cards to get this combo, because everyone knew what the most powerful combos would be. Now, for me, I noticed a few other things I didn't really like about it. Well, I shouldn't say like about it. It just borrows from other games. This whole thing where you flip over the back of the card to power up another card, I've seen that. Lewis and Clark did it, and they did it a lot better than this game did. Or, hey, I get to pick this in-game points card, and I can keep it for myself or give it to another player and force them to kick out one of their really good cards. Yeah, I've seen that. Grim Forest did it, and they did it better. So it doesn't seem to be anything original in here either. Now, you may say, you know what? I need a light little card game. If that's the case, this may be the game for you. Other than that, for me, it just wasn't that good. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.